you're not going to get the same media coverage as, say, a Caucasian lady or a child or an elderly person.
It's been a long-held belief in many communities of color. There's a double standard when black and brown children go missing. Two fathers say their search for their missing loved ones went nowhere for years until they made a connection with a foundation focused on bringing their children home.
I find myself what I call waking up from dreams with my soul crying. No physical tears, but all the feeling of sorrow, like God himself is no longer with me.
Mike Muse has not been able to shake this agonizing feeling of abandonment for nearly 5 years. His dreams, filled with images of his son Christian, often take him on an emotional roller coaster. Dad describes him as a brilliant, athletic, rough-and-tumble young man who worked through his growing pains. Christian refocused, learned a trade, and graduated with a certificate from a community college.
Oh, I was so proud of him. To see him smile as he walked across the stage like, see, Dad, I told you I could do it.
Those recurring dreams of the missing 19-year-old now haunt the local go-go legend. Mike had no idea July 15th, 2012 would be the last day he would lay eyes on his son.
He said, Dad, I'll be back.
But he did not come back. And after no word from Christian for 2 days, Mike called county police to report him missing.
With his age, they immediately deemed it non-critical for whatever reason. There was no media coverage on it at all until 16 months after he was gone.
Time to get up, man. The clothes out here already ready. Come on, get your teeth brushed, get your hair brushed. My kids were on the run for about 3 years. You ready for the day?
Mm-hmm. Fatherhood, a life passage John Howard was looking forward to.
All right, homework stuff in the book bag?
For most of his young adult life.
Have a good day. All right. Have a good day. I loved it from day one. I was there for both of my sons' birth. I was there for the first words.
But the single father found himself in a downward spiral when their mom and the boys disappeared after she lost custody in March of 2013. John hit a roadblock when he tried to file a missing persons report with the police.
They was like, no, that's not missing because you know who has your kids. And I was totally blown away. As a parent of a child of color, it was kind of like I didn't feel like my child was that important.
This has been going on for years, which is the reason why we started our organization.
It's called the Black and Missing Foundation, a nonprofit organization with a mission to bring awareness to missing persons of color across the country.
Because they have been swept under the rug. When we started the organization back in 2008, 30% of missing persons in the United States were persons of color, and that number has since increased to 40%. Going into our community, our people didn't think that there was an issue with missing persons of color because when they turned their televisions on, they didn't see anyone that looked like them.
Instead, they'd see the faces of Natalie Holloway, Kaylee Anthony, Elizabeth Smart. Missing cases, the Pointer Institute says, were extensively covered by nightly network news for months, even years. The disappearance of 8-year-old Willisha Rudd in the district never reached that saturation of national attention. The Black and Missing Foundation works to bridge that gap, to help what they see as an underserved population.
It's important to get those stories out because their missing loved ones' lives are valued as well. The worst thing is the unknown. Not knowing if your loved one is hungry, if they're cold, if you're going to even see them again. Do you have a detective that's following up with you regularly?
No.
Black and Missing coaches families so that they can get awareness of their missing to the media immediately. In addition, the organization provides investigative, counseling, medical, and other services to prepare them
Time to get out.
once they are reunited.
Brush your teeth.
John Howard's sons are back home. After years of posting flyers and searching on his own, Wilson, a former law enforcement officer, armed him with the language to push police into action.
If it wasn't for Derica putting everything together, say, no, it's a parental abduction. It was almost scary because it started rolling within like 20 minutes. I got about 9 phone calls from different detectives. A lady recognized the vehicle that they were driving in, and she had called in a tip line. That day, it was so many emotions. So I just kind of hugged them, but we all cried.
You know, me being in the entertainment field, I have to kind of mask my emotions sometimes, a lot of times. So I can't carry that sorrow outwardly. I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I'm believing that in 2017, I'll see my son. Now, empathize and sympathize for anyone else who's going through this, but that's my son. And we just want him back.
The Black and Missing Foundation says that it has reunited over 200 families with their loved ones or recovered their remains since it started in 2008.